All things work to the good of them that are called according to his purpose. All things work to the good of them that are called, all things. Anyway, so, yeah. I'm on a Facebook thing, and, I got into this debate about, the right forms of birth control that we can use and be biblical. And he was talking about how, like, if God didn't want us to, like, he said if God didn't want us to use birth control, he would have said, do not spill your seed on the ground. And I'm like, yeah, he kind of did. And I'm like, and he's like, no, it's nowhere in there. I'm like, well, we have Onan, which references a guy getting murdered by God because he spilled his seed on the ground. He refused to impregnate a woman. Yeah, but he still was adamant that it doesn't say it anywhere in the scriptures. I'm like, it does. It's the first commandment given to men. And he was a little bit messed up because I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, thou shalt have no. That's not the first commandment given to men. That's not. It's not the first. Any of you know? Any of you can guess what the first commandment given to man is? Let's say, Okay, anyway. So I'm just going to tell you. The first commandment given to men is go forth and multiply. Yes, the first commandment says basically have as many children as is humanly possible. Bing, 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 bing. So that means that the only form of birth control according to scripture is in 1 Corinthians chapter 7-ish, somewhere in chapter 7. And it says that you can abstain from sex with prayer and fasting. And if you want to not have babies, then that's when you do it. You abstain with prayer and fasting during her fertile month. Or her fertile month. Her fertile week. And if you abstain from sex during a fertile week. But that means, that means that not only you basically have to abstain during a fertile week, and then I believe, according to scripture, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe according to the Torah, you're not supposed to have sex with a woman during her menstrual cycle either. So that means 2 weeks you cannot have sex with your wife. And that leaves 2 weeks. So half of the month you can't have sex with your wife. Yeah, so if you can do that, have fun with that. I'm just saying. That's the only sanctioned form of birth control is abstaining from sex with prayer and fasting. With prayer and fasting. With prayer and fasting. Every other thing has to be like, yeah, plant them seeds. Have fun with that. I'm the heretic. Peace, love, and grooviness forever. I love you a long time. Bye-bye. What?